Be sure to click like and subscribe for more Magnus and Scout videos. Hello and welcome to another Magnus and Scout video. Today I did another example of a general day with Magnus and Scout. Scout is always the first one to wake up. She'll start making sort of noises and whining and moving around. Magnus does like to sleep in as long as possible. But Scout will always be the first one out of her bed, trying to wake us up in the morning. Scout doesn't like to sleep in late. The rest of us do whenever we can. A little bit you're cleaning, grooming for Magnus. Time for some morning yoga. Oh, we're not ready yet. Maybe we can get a cheeky 5 more minutes in bed. Once we're all ready, we'll then head all downstairs together. Scout always charges down first, closely followed by Magnus. You're hyped this morning, Scout. So it's coats on and ready for the morning walk. Whenever we come back from a walk, we always wash the paws of Magnus and Scout, just to make sure there's no dirt on there, no debris, no bits of glass, nothing to hurt their paws. It also keeps our carpet from getting full of muddy paw prints. So we've got a dog shampoo and we've got some washcloths, just some warm water just to get the mud and any debris off the paws of the pups. caught a bit of a sprinkle on the way back, so just drying off the heads of the pups. Just so they're not all damp. They do like a bit of toweling. Once that's done, it's time for breakfast. We feed Magnus and Scout separately because Magnus had a bit of resource guarding issues when it came to food with bones in it, so we just contained it on just for safety. Although they could probably eat the bones and chicken in the same room these days. It just saves any trouble. We put a towel down just to save having to wash the beds all the time. It's easier to wash the towel than it is to wash the dog beds, so we just serve them on there. They know where to go, they sit down and they get their breakfast. So the breakfast is chicken thighs, just straight from the fridge. Just raw chicken thighs. Just gotta make sure they're not cooked. You can't eat bones that are cooked, so just raw chicken thighs. They get 2 each, and that's breakfast. Alright, come up to it. After some cuddles, it's time for the food coma to kick in, a little bit of napping while we get ready for work. We're working from home at the moment, so once I sit up at my desk, Magnus and Scout will usually come up from their slumber downstairs and grab a bed in a little office studio area. Unless there's some sun in the hallway, in which case Scout will hang out there instead. You gonna join us in here, Scout? So throughout the morning while I'm working, the pups will move around to different spots in the house, the hallway, just try to find sunspots, different beds. They usually keep mixing it up throughout the morning. Coming for some cuddles and rubs, and then go and find a different bed to lounge in. The hallway is quite popular because it gets direct sun. So it's more lounging and napping throughout the morning, watching me work away. They put a hard day's sleeping in. A little bit of neighbourhood watch in the mornings as well. Checking the neighbourhood for any cats or anything interesting. Time for a bit more sunbathing. And then before you know it, the dogs are making noises because they want to go out for their lunchtime walk. Alright, let's go guys, let's go there. back on with the coats and leads. And Magnus and Scout have got about 3 different coats each, just for different types of weather. But today is just one of their all-purpose general coats. We walked Magnus and Scout with the martingale collars. We used to use the fishtail collar when we first got Magnus, but he'd get very excited at walks time and it was impossible to get the buckle done, so we switched to the martingale and he can pretty much put on the collar himself, so it's a little bit easier, and they're quite snazzy too. So for the lunchtime walk, we'll usually take them for about a 20 minutes to half an hour walk at lunchtime. If it's really nice weather, maybe a little bit longer, but that's a general lunchtime walk. Again, after the walk, it's time to get those paws cleaned. The pups are very helpful when it comes to cleaning the feet. They don't put up any trouble and happy to lift their paws. And after a lunchtime walk, Scout will lie in the hallway, ready in anticipation for lunch, which is about to get prepared. So today we've got some shredded carrot, some shredded broccoli stalks. To that we've added our natural instincts chicken. I'm going to mix this all together. We've also got a little bit of chicken stock in there as well. Is that nice, Magnus? Just giving his approval. So we'll just mix it all together. A bit of chicken stock, chicken natural instincts. So Magnus's portion is slightly bigger than Scout's because it's a different sized dog. We've also got coloured bowls, so the blue is for Magnus and the black is for Scout. That way if we've got any medication to add, we know which bowl to go in. The bowls also have a rubber rim at the bottom so they don't slide around, so that's really helpful. And they always go to their spot when we put the food down. Bon appetit! Usually when Scout finishes her lunch, she will clean her face. Usually it's on her bed, but today she decided to do it on the rug. Thanks, Scout. Magnus, however, won't clean his face. You'll see he's got a chicken moustache, which will have to wash off his face. And Magnus goes back just to make sure Scout hasn't left anything behind. Don't want any wastage, do we, Magnus? Nice clean bowls. After lunch it's back to work for us, and the pups will be having a nap and snoozing throughout the house again. A little cuddle for Magnus before I go back to work. And then it's time for the food coma to kick in for Magnus. Just like the morning, there'll be several different sleeping positions throughout the afternoon, usually at the back of my chair so I can't move easily. Bit more neighbourhood watch. And then once we finish work, we'll usually take the pups for a little evening stroll as well. A little chance for us to get some exercise. And Scout's going to keep taking my shoes. You are slowing us down, Scout. And there goes another shoe. Alright, now I've got my shoes back, it's time to get the coats on. You ready, Scout? So for our walks, we like to try and mix it up as much as possible, taking the dogs to as many different places as possible. Keeps it interesting for them and for us. After the evening walk, there'll be more napping and snoozing. And then it's time for evening walk. Scout's evening walk is just basically go out, find the nearest bit of grass, do a pee, and then run back inside. Magnus' walk is usually a little bit longer. He usually go for 5 or 10 minutes for his last walk. Do a couple of pees and then he is good for the night. So it's usually about 7 o'clock, 7:30. we go for this last walk. And then if we're cooking something in the kitchen for ourselves, we usually have an audience of either Magnus and Scout or both of them. And when we're eating our tea, the pups will usually stare at us, drooling, but they are very good and will stay on their beds and not disturb us when we're eating. And then occasionally, if they're good, we might have a little treat for them. So tonight was a little bit of a burger, which they seem to enjoy. Okay, we don't do it very often, maybe like once a week we'll give them this little treat. On the side, we tend to be very strict about sticking to their meals, when they eat and what they eat. And after that it's time for some dental care. Yeah, so time for some teeth brushing. We've also got a Hexi rinse which we use for their gums, just a little cotton swab and just to keep their gums from getting any gum disease. And then it's time to basically snooze for a little bit before bed. When it's time for bed, Scout will usually go up first when we're going upstairs. And Magnus will follow on sometime later, either 5 or 10 minutes later or a couple of hours later, but he'll then come upstairs and go to one of the other beds. They take turns sleeping in the beds, they like to mix it up. Whoever gets up first gets first dibs on the beds. You want tucked in, Magnus? Okay. And that was a day with Magnus and Scout. Hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon with more Magnus and Scout videos. If you live in the Edinburgh and Lothians area of Scotland and are interested in adopting a greyhound, then why not go to the Rehoming Retired Greyhounds website to find out more information about dogs that are available for adoption in your area. On here you can find information about the Rehoming Retired Greyhounds charity, the dogs that are available for adoption, the process for adoption, and also the Sunday walk where you can take one of these dogs that are available for adoption on a walk. You can also find on here information about where the walk is and when it takes place. We also have information about events that are coming up if you'd like to come along and join us. And if you're unable to attend but want to help us out, we do have a donate page where you can help out greyhounds get rehomed in this area. All money helps with their care and rehoming.